Hey everybody, welcome back to the AVA Pop Culture Video Rental Store for another episode of Friday Night Rentals, the series where we pretend it's somewhere between 1985 and 1990 something, and you're wandering the aisles and you've got 4, maybe 5 movies to bring home for the weekend. Now, this isn't about rankings. It's not about the greatest films ever made, pinkies up, all that kind of stuff. No, it's about the movies you grabbed because they felt like a Friday night. The ones that you lived with all weekend, rewound, watched again, left in your VCR, and quoted until everyone got tired of hearing it. And tonight, we have a really fun mix. We've got some big adventure energy, some comfort movie nostalgia, and of course, a trip down the horror aisle. So let's get started. Pop that tape in. I got you. Let's go do this. All right, it is Friday night, 1994, somewhere around there. And you know the vibe. Maybe in your heart it's 87. I don't know. 1987 is a good year. Predator came out in that year. You can't go wrong with 1987 or pretty much any other year in the 80s or 90s for that matter when it comes to movies, which made VHS rentals so great and ingrained these movies into our hearts, minds, and pop culture for so long. And the way we do it here is we start off with a crowd pleaser. That's one that's going to make everybody happy. You know, even if you got to watch this one with your brother, your sister, your mom, your dad, everybody can agree on this movie. And I am actually shocked that I am this many episodes into Friday Night Rentals without renting one of my favorite films of all time, starring maybe my favorite actor of all time, done by my favorite director of all time. I am, of course, talking about the legendary, the iconic, everyone is the definition of a crowd pleaser. Kids, parents, Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones, archaeologist, adventurer, reluctant hero, sort of anti-hero archetype, racing to find the Nazis back then, right? And that's how we like to do it, even all the way through the Holy Grail, which you can't see, but is sitting right up there behind me. Not the real one, but you know, a copy. Just make the only place you don't feel this movie. And this is the kind of movie where you say, you know what? I'll just watch the opening. It's maybe the greatest midnight, and you've watched the whole thing again. It was always a safe rental. If you can jump in at any point and get hooked, this is exactly the kind of movie stack back in the day. Still would for me today. Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, Steven Spielberg, Harrison Ford, George Lucas, magic, all right here. It is our crowd pleaser.
The new releases have arrived at Hollywood Video. And only Hollywood Video gives you 5-day rentals on even the newest releases, like You've Got Mail, Holy Man, and Saving Private Ryan.
Hello? Over here. Showbiz. Yeah, they chew you up and they spit you out.
5-day rentals on everything, only at Hollywood Video.
Now, next up, we've got to have our little cult hit fix. And this one's kind of a different, like we have this adventure, sort of crazy, wild, big, fantastic sort of adventure feeling going on with our rentals tonight. There's not an official theme, but there's kind of a theme. You kind of get in the mood for similar flavors, and that's what this is with this cult hit, which actually kind of expanded beyond that, but it was cult film VHS rentals that made Harry and the Hendersons an absolute hit. This one feels more like cable VHS comfort food than it does a big movie. And Harry and the Hendersons has a little bit of that adventure wild vibe that we're talking about here, as a family accidentally hits Bigfoot with their car and then they bring him home, which is already a very 80s movie setup, like only in the 80s. But what makes it, if you guys don't know, I have a thing for Bigfoot and Bigfoot movies, so this one is one of my all-time favorites. But what makes this movie stick with people is the heart in this movie. John Lithgow plays a dad who initially sees Harry as nothing more than a scientific discovery, and then slowly realizes that this creature has feelings, personality, and he essentially becomes part of their family. They realize he won't even eat red meat. He eats fish. They got to get him fish fillet sandwiches. The creature effects still hold up really well. Harry looks as good today as an effect in costume as ever. That is the power of practical effects. That makeup work is fantastic. The movie is warm. It's slightly goofy. It's funny. It's got that late 80s family movie energy tone, but it's also funny and very, very emotional. This is one of those movies that lived on VHS and cable for years and kept finding new audiences. If you could walk through the living room and saw Harry sitting at the dinner table and just sat down for a watch, it's kind of that kind of feeling here. It's cozy, it's weird, it's very, very much a product of its time in all of the right ways. It makes it a great second pick for the weekend, a nice little companion piece for Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, and this little adventure, good-spirited thread that we have going on here, Harry and the Hendersons. Now, the next one on our list, we're going to have a hidden gem double feature tonight. So you're going to get two for the price of one here, because I believe that there's one that should be included right now. We recently lost the great Robert Duvall, and I did a video of some of my favorite performances of his, and I realized that the movie that I think is maybe his greatest performance, most underrated film ever, perfect adventure, heartfelt storytelling, a lot of people had never seen. So I thought, let's add it as part of the double feature here tonight on Friday Night Rentals. I am talking about Secondhand Lions. It is one of those movies that people discovered. I understand it's later. It's outside of the normal VHS. This one's here for Robert Duvall, and because it fits the hidden gem category. This is the one that you watch and then you immediately got to go tell people, how did people miss this movie, right? This was probably more like you rented it on DVD, maybe probably DVD. Later, I know it's outside of our normal boundaries, but we can make this concession for Robert Duvall. And it's about a young boy who is sent to live with his two eccentric, reclusive uncles, played by Robert Duvall and Michael Caine, who may or may not have lied about having incredible adventures. And at first, they just seem crazy, kooky, grouchy, cantankerous guys. But then you start hearing the stories. Treasure hunts, foreign wars, romance, legendary adventures that we see all in flashbacks, with some great actors playing them that never say a word, like Christian Kane playing the young Robert Duvall. And the movie walks this perfect line between just great, iconic old adventure and reality and a tall tale. And Duvall is absolutely just fantastic, just perfect in this film. He gives two of the biggest, greatest monologues in cinema history in this one film. He brings this warmth and authenticity to the role, the kind of character who's lived a full life before this movie, and you completely feel it. Those monologues about what it is to be a real man and what you should believe in and how you should live and all the things he's accomplished that's made him who he is. They're so meaningful and powerful. They land every single time. It's one of those movies that just feels good to watch, adventurous, heartfelt, funny in a quiet way, perfect for a Friday night or a weekend when you want something that just is good for the soul. That is Secondhand Lions, a perfect hidden gem pick. I admit a little bit outside of our time boundary, but one that is definitely a hidden gem that you need to uncover.
Renting videos shouldn't be a game of skill or luck, and it's not. At Home Video Express, you'll find over 10,000 videos, including a huge selection of current releases, plus one-day advance reservations and the fastest, friendliest service. So don't worry about missing the movie you want. Check it out.
All right, and heading back to that 80s, 90s time period for our second of our Hidden Gem double features, one of my all-time favorites that just got announced to be restored and re-released on 4K. I'm so excited, and back in the day, I was very excited whenever I could rent The Great Outdoors. If you want to, follow up all this stuff with something that's adventurous, you're out in the great woods and you got bears and you got all this kind of stuff, but it's a little bit lighter, a little bit funnier. John Candy, Dan Aykroyd, do I need to say more than that? This is the perfect companion piece with our other films. The Great Outdoors is peak John Candy and Dan Aykroyd at the height of their powers. Two families on vacation at a lakeside cabin in like the Great Northwest, and everything goes wrong. Dan Aykroyd shows up, makes things worse. The movie has so many classic moments like the old 96er steak scene, the bear scene, big bear chase me, the awkward family dynamics, the drop the rope, he's give you a ride and suck my wake, all that kind of stuff. It is best. Just chaotic. The raccoons getting into the garbage, talking to each other with subtitles. Man, come on. That's worth its weight in gold. It's very much one of those movies that felt like a summer weekend type rental, a fun little adventure. You didn't always plan to watch it, but if you ever put it in, you were going to stick around till the end. This is perfect, like late night second feature after the bigger movies. The Great Outdoors, a super high recommend.
Nobody has the movie I want.
Hey, if it's on video, Blockbuster probably has it. I mean, we have over 10,000 videos.
Wow.
I'll watch these fast and have them back tomorrow, I promise.
Relax. At Blockbuster, you can keep your videos for 3 evenings, so take home plenty. And use our 24-hour quick drop.
Do you have any children's videos?
Sure. Blockbuster's America's family video store. We have more kids' videos than any place else. More movies, more nights, more fun.
Blockbuster Video. Wow, what a difference.
I just love doing this series because if you're like me and you grew up in the 80s, 90s, going and renting movies and wandering around the video store aisles, looking at covers, reading the little blurbs on the back, that's what this series is all about. That could be a night in and of itself. That was so awesome. Just good movies, good weekend rentals that make you remember the good times, some movies that you haven't seen in a while. Maybe you've seen thousands of times. Maybe you've never seen, maybe you've forgotten about, but this brings them back and it brings that energy back. And for all intents and purposes, it might as well be 1989 walking around your local mom and pop video rental store. That's the energy. That's the vibe. That's the nostalgia I want to share with you because all that feeling is there. We just got to reach out and grab it. And one of the best ways to do that is to head down the horror aisle. Now, no trip to the video rental store for me was complete without going down the horror aisle, and neither is any episode of Friday Night Rentals. So before we grab our stuff, our stack, and go check out, we got to wander down, check out some spooky tape covers, some great VHS art. Every stack needs a horror pick. And this week, with that adventure theme, kind of fun, kind of light, kind of scary, the perfect movie is An American Werewolf in London. You got John Landis directing, and this one is perfect. An American Werewolf in London follows two American backpackers traveling through England when something really bad comes out of the moors and gets them. So you have that adventure vibe, that traveling vibe, and then you get a werewolf. And only one survives to tell the tale, but he is not unchained from the event. The movie is a great mix of being genuinely scary, genuinely funny, and incredibly well made. We're talking about Oscar level effects here with the werewolf transformation that was absolutely one of a kind at the time. That scene alone is legendary. It's still one of the best practical effects sequences ever put to film. But what makes this a great rental is the atmosphere here. It's eerie, it's weird, it's funny, it's got that late night energy, it's got that sense of being in a foreign, different place to travel that makes you unsettled, that kind of is the darker side of all of our adventure stuff that we're doing tonight. It's a perfect fit with this stack of movies, and this is the perfect movie to watch when everyone else has gone to bed and there's just a couple of you up and you're wanting to kind of creep each other out, but you still want to have a couple of laughs so it doesn't get too heavy. An American Werewolf in London, a nice, spooky, creepy trip down the horror aisle. Perfect for this stack. So there you go. If you walked out with this stack and you got Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, and you got Harry and the Hendersons and Secondhand Lions and Great Outdoors and American Werewolf in London, you had one hell of a good weekend coming. So let me know in the comments, have you seen all these? What is your Friday night rentals for this week? I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed this stack of movies that I curated together, especially for you to have a little adventure this weekend, maybe back to the 80s, back to the 90s. Nothing wrong with that. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe. If you want to help support the video store a little bit more, what we do here at AVA, you can join my Patreon. The link is in the description, and you'll get your name in lights, just like a neon marquee on every video. Behind the scenes looks at my filmmaking, special members only videos, and so much more. I'm in the process of restoring my own films for brand new physical media releases on 4K. So I am supporting all of those old school vibes that way, and I hope you'll be around for it all. But until next time, be kind, rewind like always. This is Chase with AV Pop Culture, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.